Hello and welcome to BIB 224, New Testament Literature and Interpretation. I imagine you might want to know what the notebook needs to look like, and so I want to go over this together. This will be in Brightspace. This is a template that will be the place where you put your notes. So what I want you to do, we're going to have 3 lectures this week. 1, the beginning and end of the Bible. 2, on Genesis 1, 1 to 5, and John 1 to 5. And then Isaiah 42 through 49, and its quotation in Philippians 2, 6 through 11. So those are the 3 things that we'll cover for this week. And what I want you to do is to use this as your homework for that lecture. And then I also want you to use it as your in-class notebook. So what I want you to do is to, before class starts on that first Monday, I want you to read through these texts and I want you to make some comments on Genesis 1, 1 and 2. So, you might read through it and say, well, there's some kind of order among the days. There's some kind of parallelism, days 1, 2, and 3, and day 4, 5, and 6. There's a description of the Garden of Eden in this section. And I want you to do the same thing for Revelation 21 and 22. And you might realize that these 2 passages are connected. That many of the things that are in Genesis 1, 1 and 2 are actually also in Revelation 21 and 22. What we're going to do in class is tease that out a great deal to show how understanding the beginning of the Bible and the end of the Bible is actually key to understanding all the things in the middle of the Bible. We've got some personal application questions. What do you find most interesting? And I would imagine that you would have several ideas here and spell these out. What do you find most challenging? What are some of the things that the God of the Bible is claiming about himself? How is Jesus like or unlike any of the characters? That's a very important question. And how are you like or unlike any of the characters? So that will be our discussion on that first lecture. And maybe I can show you here. We're going to talk about in that lecture things like the Rakia, this heavenly waters. That actually appears in Revelation 15. Ezekiel 47 is connected to these texts, the tree of life. And so what we'll do is, as we work through lecture 1, we'll fill in your homework notes. So you'll do the homework before class. Imagine it will take you a couple of hours. I encourage you to do this with other people. And then when we come to class time together, you can add to these notes. Now, I will ask that you put, when you turn this in for the week, how much time outside of class that you spent. So don't come and, just do this during class. You want to spend the homework time preparing and then supplement that with the in-class lectures. Lecture 2 is going to be on the idea of monotheism and Christology in the Bible, and we're going to see that John 1:1 is massively connected to Genesis 1:1, and we're going to see that even in texts, monotheistic texts like the Shema, Deuteronomy 6:4, Hear, O Israel, the Lord, our God, the Lord is one. That's actually developed in the New Testament. We're going to see how that's developed. And so I imagine you'll make several observations here. And we'll see in the Old Testament that this whole idea of plurality within the more basic unity of God is actually everywhere in the text. And so we're going to look at a passage in Genesis 18 and 19 where that happens, and we're going to see that the New Testament writers are picking up on those ideas. And then the third lecture for this week will be on Philippians 2, 6 through 11, a Christological hymn, but that actually is developing a section of scripture from Isaiah 42 through 49. And so on the Friday class, we're going to work through these texts. Again, prepare ahead of time and then supplement with your in-class notes. That's the only legitimate use of electronic devices, is taking notes in class. And then as soon as class ends, this assignment will be due, and so you upload it, and that will be your requirement for that week. This whole notebook is worth 30 points, and so you upload and I'll grade it on that Saturday. I think we're going to have a great time together. I hope this video helps, and look forward to seeing you in class.